Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you all. Welcome to the stream, and to another day in Azeroth. Just 1 second, I have to fix a couple things apparently, including my OBS scene is broken today. Always good. Let me go ahead and fix OBS. It's always, I always know it's going to be a great day when the first thing that happens is that my OBS is broken. Let's see if I have any scenes that work. This scene doesn't work. This scene works, but that's not what I need. I need this scene to actually show me the video game. Let me just completely blow that out. Goodbye. And let me try to re-add it. Still nothing. We may or may not have a stream today. We may or may not. I hope you guys are doing well. Sorry that none of my stuff works and that I'm a complete moron and can't fix it. I wish I was better. I mean, I can use this scene. This does not have any of the things that I need. It doesn't have any of the stuff that I need to actually run the stream. But at least it shows me the fucking game. And seeing the game is good. I wonder why this one shows me the game when the other scenes don't. Maybe I can reverse engineer why it's working. No, that's totally different. It's funny because like nothing changed. It worked fine yesterday. Let's delete it again. I guess we'll just do this. I guess we'll do that. We'll do that. I can move this. Okay. I guess that'll work. And the other stuff's gonna break for a minute. I need a second to fix some other stuff. So, bear with me. That didn't do what I wanted either. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, you know what was different today? I can show you what was different. What was different today is this. This drop down right here is different. And I'm going to go ahead and blame this change that Blizzard made on why my OBS is now completely fucko. They did this. They added this little drop down here, which is great. This is great, I guess. But yeah, this is the reason why nothing's working for me today. Because of however they changed this, like... must have slightly changed the name of the exe or some kind of background file that now OBS looks for WoW exe, and it's looking for WoW exe, and I'm telling it to capture WoW exe, but it can't. It can't capture WoW exe because something about WoW exe has been changed. So yeah, I'm just gonna play the game. My OBS isn't working. If anything pops up on my screen, you guys are gonna see it now. Typically, I share the EXE so that like anything that pops up on my screen, you don't have to worry about it. And I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes. We'll just see how it goes. And then maybe someday I'll be able to fix it. For the past 2 days, I haven't been able to fix any of the problems that I've had. I had a problem with my widgets yesterday. I haven't really been able to fix that. And now I have a problem with OBS. And it reminds me, recording stuff was much simpler. With recording stuff, I knew how to record stuff. I knew how to record stuff, I knew how to edit stuff, I knew how to publish stuff. And I never really had any problems. Using OBS, it often feels like I have nothing but problems trying to use OBS. But there isn't really like a better option. So yeah, that's where we're at. Get a Mac. Okay, I think that's not going to solve my problems. I should probably just ban you, but I'll give you one more chance. So anyway, I decided that I'm going to stay in Dun Morogh. I'm going to grind out level 10. We're gonna work our way over in this direction. And we have to come over to Brunel Village. You know, how is my audio sounding? On my side, all of my audio is also messed up. On my side, my audio sounds like really awful. So I'm wondering how it sounds for you guys. I'm not, if you haven't noticed, and maybe some of you can relate to this, I'm not really good at absorbing problems when I'm trying to start my day. Sometimes if I can get into my day a little bit and problems pop up, I can like rationally absorb them and I can figure them out. But when I have problems at the start of my day, it's like absolutely fucking overwhelming. And it's always been that way. And so I try to do everything I can to like make sure I have things set up for myself for the start of my day, knowing that the start of my day is going to be the hardest and most pivotal point of my day. But then I still have days like this where everything is completely fucked up. And I'm just struggling to get it into a state where it like looks and sounds basically normal. Because so far, yeah, this still doesn't sound normal. Okay. Everything sounds... Does it sound fine? It sounds fine. Okay, maybe then something's going on my end. It's almost like someone has been at my computer. You ever sit down at your computer and things just like they aren't right? Like things just don't look right. They don't sound right. That window's not really in the place that you left it. You have a Chrome window open that's on a new tab that you don't remember having the Chrome window open. You ever have that? That's what this feels like. It feels like someone's been sitting at my PC messing with things. I don't like it. Like, typically I can hear myself pretty well. And that's kind of how I gauge, like, if I'm speaking properly, if I'm being loud enough, if I'm projecting. And, like, today I can't hear myself at all. Like, I can hear myself a little bit. But then I feel like I'm trying to shout so that I can hear my own voice. And typically that's not how the audio is set up. So yeah, it's just gonna be... It's gonna be struggles today. So if struggles bother you, I would suggest that this beginning of the stream is gonna be a train wreck. I don't have decision fatigue yet. In the evening you find it harder to deal with situations. See, I don't get decision fatigue because there's not too many things I have to do throughout my day. So luckily for me, the hardest part is the beginning of the day. If I can get into a momentum for my day, I feel like I can handle basically anything. Like, that's kind of what I use to deal with shit, is like I use the idea that like if I can get going, if I can just start, if everything can be started properly, then I can overpower anything at that point. Because I simply rely on momentum to get it done. If I can't get momentum, If I can't like get my feet on the ground and get moving, then the rest of the day is shot. It just feels after that I don't get anything done. Nothing gets resolved. The problems, like, they mount. And so for me, the only critical part of the day is how the day starts. But that's because luckily I don't have too many things that I'm like super responsible for throughout the course of my day. It's because I stayed on too late last night. Yeah, probably. That's probably it. I mean, I didn't lose sleep over it or anything. I did have coffee like super late at night. And I'm sure that like disrupted my sleep cycles or whatever, but like my sleep always sucks. It's been about 9 or 10 years since I remember like laying down to go to bed and just waking up the next day when my alarm goes off. Do any of you guys sleep through the night? I don't remember the last time I slept through the night where I didn't wake up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times through the night. It was before my son was born. So like 10 or 11 years ago probably would have been the last time that I could consistently lay down at night, fall asleep, and just wake up when my alarm went off. I haven't in years, no, never. Oh yeah, so it's not really abnormal. And like, I feel like it just gets worse and worse. Like, I'm kind of at a point now where I usually sleep for about 2 hours before I wake up. And then I'll be awake anywhere for, if I'm lucky, I'll be awake for at least a half hour. If I'm really unlucky, or if God forbid I start thinking about anything, then I'm gonna be up for like 2 hours. And then I'll fall back asleep, and I'll sleep for about 2 hours, and then I'll repeat it. And I feel like that's just like, it's getting worse, basically. And what it leads to is like, how I make up for this is I don't wake up when I should. Like, I don't get out of bed at the time I should get out of bed. I stay in bed. I stay in bed to get another 2 hours of sleep because of how like interrupted my sleep is throughout the night. But yeah, and I don't really have like, there's probably like solutions. I could probably change like everything about my lifestyle, and that would probably fix it. But yeah, I don't know what to do about it. And I think it, like, obviously, like, I don't feel it as much throughout the day. Like, I don't feel that lack of sleep until probably about like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening is when I typically start to feel like just really exhausted. But I can typically get through like the early part of the day with no apparent difficulties. But to be fair, like, I don't think my brain works as well as it used to when I used to get full sleep, when I used to get like a full night's sleep. I think my brain used to work a lot better. I make fun of it a lot, but I often feel like I only have 2 brain cells to rub together at any point in time. And part of it is probably because like I don't really sleep the way I think a human being is supposed to sleep. I think we're supposed to go through cycles of like 4 hours of sleep. And then I think we're supposed to wake up lightly, and then we're supposed to go back to sleep for our next set of 4 hours. I'm pretty sure that's how like our sleep rhythms are supposed to work. I don't think we're supposed to wake up every hour and a half, 2 hours, and then stay up for an hour, and then rinse and repeat. But what do I know? I'm not a doctor. And I've been trying to change some things. Like, I used to, like, turn the TV on. When I'd wake up, I would turn on, like, a Let's Play. I like to watch Christopher Odd play Dome Keeper. I find Dome Keeper to be, like, a very chill, like, relaxing game with, like, solid colors that don't flash too much. So I used to, like, turn on Dome Keeper, or I would read a book for a little bit, and I've tried to stop doing those things. I've tried to keep the TV turned off, and I've tried to, like, not pick up my phone and start reading. And I don't know that it has really helped. What it feels like now is like I get back to sleep faster, but I wake up more frequently. So like I'll fall back to sleep after a half hour instead of 2 hours, but then I'll wake up an hour and a half later. So that's not great either. .5 is a usual sleep cycle. Yeah, but I don't think most people come to like full awake every 1.5 hours. Like, I don't remember this ever happening to me like in my 20s and early 30s. I remember going to bed and staying asleep, and sometimes I'd have to wake up in the night to use the bathroom. You know, I think that's normal to wake up and like go take a leak. But typically you do that in a state where you're like hardly even awake. And these days, like, I wake up and I come to like full alertness. Like, I'm not like, oh, I'm drowsy, let's go back to sleep. I'm like awake. And I'm like, okay, I'm fully awake. Now that I'm fully awake, now I have to get back to sleep again for the second time. Dijon, thank you so much for the super chat, man. That's incredibly generous of you, and I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here and for hanging out with us today. After 34, you started waking up a lot. Do you have a kid? Did you have a kid around that time? I feel like I'm probably blaming my spawn. But it's probably other lifestyle choices too. Like, obviously drinking coffee all day long is not a good lifestyle choice. And I even take melatonin to help me get to sleep these days. And like, it helps me get to sleep, but it doesn't help me stay asleep. But I don't really like the idea of taking like an actual sleep aid that's gonna like keep me unconscious. I feel uncomfortable with that. We are going to need some lucky crits, or we need a healer to come by and kindly toss us a heal. That's very kind of you.
What's on your mind? Up with you.
How are you? Watch your back.
Alright, now we have the kill quest. Let's work on this kill quest. This should get us to level 10. And we'll train dual wield. I think I'm going to stay here in Dun Morogh until we finish everything. I want to finish everything in Dun Morogh. I want to grab the flight points over in the lock. And then I want to go back and do Elwyn Forest. Jijan, thank you so much, man, for the 10 gifted memberships and the super chat. You are a rock star. I really appreciate it, man. That's incredibly generous. Welcome to the 10 new people. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with us today as I struggle to make my life work and as we play some classic era. Thank you guys for being there and for bearing with me. Yeah, I do exercise every day. I don't do that in the evening time though. Maybe I should try like flipping some of my workouts to like the PM and like see if that helps. I've never, it's been a long time since I've worked out in the evening. Like, back in my 20s when my job didn't really permit me to work out during the day, and then I worked out in the evening time. But that was like almost 20 years ago at this point. So I'm not used to exercising in the evening, but maybe I'll try it. Maybe it'll help. I don't know. But the bad thing is, like, I'll have to work out twice because, like, the other thing about working out is, like, my day doesn't get jump-started until I do my workout. Like, my body's now been trained that, like, I do my workout before I do, like, any other kind of activity. Like, I'll wake up, I'll have my protein shake, I'll drink a little bit of coffee. If it's decent weather out, I'll take my dog for a walk, and then after that, I'll go right into my workout. And now it's like, if I don't get my workout in, I feel like my body and my brain don't fully wake up. So if I'm gonna work out in the evening, that's gonna be like double workout. But maybe I'll try it just to see if it helps. What's the highest level online right now? Probably like 20s or 30s. If I just look in the guild that I'm in, we have a level 24 in the guild. So I'm assuming, let's do /who 30. That didn't do anything. Let's do /who 27. Nope. /who 20. Oh, that did not work. Maybe /who is broken. And my /who may or may not be working. Oh, it's working. There aren't enough people to pull up the list. Yeah, there are 2 level 25s, 1 level 27, no 28s. Yeah, the /who is working. It's just not pulling up the big list. 24 is like the highest level that pulls up a bunch of people. After that, it's like 1 or 2 people. I don't think there's anybody 28. No people 28. There's a level 29 though. Look at that. Maybe some people have sneaked through the cracks. There's a 31 hunter. I think 31 might be about as high as it gets. The level 10 we saw in the Abbey, I think that level 10 we saw at the Abbey had to be some kind of just glitch in the Matrix. The server was so laggy then that I think it was just some kind of data error. I don't even think it was a person exploiting, I think it was a data error with the server. Because everything was so effed. Like, nothing was working on the server at all. So I feel like it was a false positive. You understand that the people who are level 30 very likely have not slept at all since the servers came up, and if they have slept, it was like a handful of hours, you know? Like, maybe they slept for 3 or 4 hours. And then they just went right back at it. They're the sorts of people that can live off of like 10 soft tacos and a bag of Doritos and a 2-liter of Mountain Dew. And they can live off that for half a day. So, and they're probably not used to standing up very much anyway, so like not standing up for long periods of time doesn't bother them. Because they already have a lifestyle where they're already not like on their feet, they're not moving around or doing anything most of the time anyway. It's worrisome. I try to accept the fact that those people exist and just kind of like turn a blind eye, because it is worrisome that people would play for that long consecutively just to level up quickly in a game that is largely about the leveling up experience. I totally understand when people rush in retail and stuff like that, because like all of the content you want to do is at the end game. But in Classic era, like I never really understood rushing quite that hard. I like to be efficient. What I like to do when there's a launch, I like to play as much as I can. Like I will typically play more than usual for the week of a launch, because it is exciting, and because I do want to make progress. But I don't feel like I ever do anything like totally abnormal when it comes to like my playtime. I want to check the auction house today. If we have people getting to a higher level, then it's possible that we might find some weapons in the auction house. Not that we have a ton of silver, but we have a little bit of silver. You grab the South Shore and the Booty Bay flight points at your level 1 character? Oh, that's nice. That's gonna speed things up a lot later. Yeah, we really need dual wield. We're very close. Some of these level 7, level 8 guys, it's taken a while for us to chunk through their HP. As soon as we get dual wield, it's going to be like a night and day difference. You want to go slow, but you want to go fast too. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. So I think like what I do, instead of like really rushing, I just play a little bit more. So like I could try to rush, and I could try to be like super efficient, and I could not do professions, and I could just focus quests. Like there's ways to just like go faster, and but I don't like to do those things. So instead I try to play for like a couple more hours a day. To like say, because I have that desire to like, yes, I want to be progressing, I want to be leveling, because I'm excited about the fresh start. But I temper that by simply playing a little bit more than I usually would. I have 2 bags, but listen, I had to buy both of these bags. We didn't find a single bag. And that was the only negative part about this character so far. Is that where you have to find a bag? I'm hoping that means that, like, in the level 20s, we'll find some 8 slots, or some 10 slots, or possibly some 12 slot bags randomly. Like, maybe it's holding our luck for later. Because not finding a single bag at a low level was kind of rough. But then again, we spent a lot of the Abbey and a lot of Elwyn Forest in a group. And for the sake of the quest, a lot of times we had free-for-all loot on. So it's possible the bags were dropping and I just wasn't getting them. It's a possibility. Is Rogue good in PvE? Yeah, Rogue is one of the A-tier DPS. So the only S-tier DPS is the Warrior. But Rogue is A-tier, Mage is A-tier, and I think Warlocks might be A-tier, depending on the list you're looking at. But yeah, they're really good. They don't really offer any useful buffs, I don't think. I think that's kind of like the downside of the Rogue. It's a really good boss damage, but they don't have any useful buffs. They don't even have a lot of, like, group utility outside of, like, CC. Like, we can sap, and that's about it. Tailors will make me bags for 6 linen. Yeah, but then I gotta find a tailor, then I gotta meet with them, then I gotta talk to them, then I have to, like, open a trade. It'd be cheaper. But there is a cost for my social effort. It's hard to quantify what that cost is, but it definitely exists. If a tailor came and found me and wanted to make me some bags, I would give them the linen. But I don't want to go to the city and, like, spam trade chat and look for somebody. I'm just, like, I'm socially lazy like that. You yelled in Goldshire and someone's making... Yeah, exactly. It's really easy, and I know that it is. I just don't do it. I have all the leopards I need. I don't need leopards. I need elder boar, and I need bears. Though, to be fair, right now, I don't have any linen. I made a couple bandages, and that was all that I had, so... Do the I7 quest for the sweet dagger. Is that like a rogue quest? I don't have one yet. Maybe it was something that I could pick up at level 8, but I don't remember seeing a rogue quest at level 8. Maybe it's a level 10. Maybe it's a level 10 quest. And then that's gonna be out of Stormwind, so we'll do it as soon as we're back in Elwyn Forest. I'm going to finish up everything here in Dun Morogh first, before I go back to Elwyn. So we'll have to hold off on it at least a little bit. Yeah, level 10 we'll get dual wield, we'll get the quest. Pickpocket the dock guy in Elwyn? Is it like a named guy, or like any... Oh, that's the quest. Yeah, okay. I think I've done that quest once. Yeah, you have to... It's the goblin. Isn't he like an elite, or he has like elites around him? And you just have to like stealth in there and pickpocket him and stealth out. Yeah, I must have done that at least once, because I do know where that is. Is it just a lot of mobs? Really? No elites? Right on. I guess level 10 would be, like, pretty young to encounter an elite. For, like, part of your class quest. It's to teach you how to stealth. Oh, okay, yeah. It's like a tutorial. Like, here's how you stealth, here's how you pickpocket type of deal. I'm in a guild right now. I took an invite to a random guild because they were called the Leveling Guild, and that kind of tickled me. But I don't know if I'll stay in this guild. I keep thinking, like, what if there's a better guild out there? Well, at least a guild with a more interesting name. It's the Leveling Guild. So they've got 144 people online right now. It's not bad. I feel like a lot of people who liked hardcore for like the leveling and for like kind of like almost the constant fresh start aspect of hardcore, where like every time you do start a new character, there's plenty of people also doing the same thing. I think a lot of people who enjoyed hardcore for that are going to try to find a home here on these new servers. I noticed that the hardcore realm, it has a high population, but the PvE and PvP realms are listed as full. So even though there's lots of people playing on the hardcore realm, it's not quite as popular as either the PvE or the PvP realm.
Watch your back.
A camping knife. That'd be good.
Be good.
Inventory's full. Okay, we can fix that.
What's on your mind?
We can fix that. We can sell the 2 maces that we have. Sell the staff. Let's see if we can cook any of the meat. We can sell that. Firemaw EU is still really busy. I'm not surprised. I think there's a group of people who obviously like... Firemaw is an old server, right? Same thing with Whitemane. These people have been playing on that server, a lot of them, since Classic launched. So when you have multiple 60s... When you have tens of thousands of gold, like all your alts, all your bank stuff, all your gold is there, like those people are not going to be as tempted to do a fresh start. A fresh start appeals to people who are bored. It appeals to people who don't have a lot of level 60s or a lot of progress already established on a Classic era server. It appeals to people who have been playing other versions of the game, like SOD or Cataclysm or Retail, but I don't think it really appeals to people who have spent all of their time playing vanilla, like on characters they're attached to and that they love. So I'm actually not surprised that a lot of people are still there.
Safe travels. Here there. Off with you.
The fresh start is going to be the McRib of the MMO community. I don't really know. I don't really get the McRib reference. Is the McRib reference something that's around for a little while and then goes away? I don't really get it. I think the answer is no. Like, these servers are going to be here to stay, I think, in one form or another. And I think a lot of people are going to make their home here. I think a lot of people have trouble, like, jumping into Classic Era on established servers. Like, the problem I had with both Whitemane and Firemaw when I decided that I just wanted to play Classic Era and I didn't want to play Cata really, I didn't want to play Retail, I was looking for a home for Classic Era. And the biggest problem I had with the existing Classic Era servers was that not a lot of like legitimate groups go out. There's not a lot of opportunity for someone to pug like legitimate groups. There were lots of boost. People were always offering boost, and for raids there were lots of GDKP. As a person who's never going to go into a boost group, and as a person who's never going to go into a GDKP run, the idea of making a forever home on the existing servers was slightly less appealing to me. So I think there's a lot of people that want to have a forever home in Classic, but they have trouble finding that on the older servers. Because of how mature the communities have become and some of the gameplay practices that have evolved on those servers. Mainly the boosting and the GDKP stuff. On these servers, there is no GDKP. They're not allowing GDKP, and the good thing about a fresh start is it's going to be a while before you start seeing anybody offer boost. So yeah, I think it's going to make a big difference for a lot of people who really do want to play Classic Era. They just haven't found like a comfy home to do it. Stealing my herbs, how dare you? How dare you? Okay. We have to grind up 4 bars of XP and then we'll hearth out of here. I don't really know if I want to tackle these quests without dual wield. So maybe we'll just kind of like make our way back to Keranos, and maybe I don't have to spend my Hearthstone. Maybe we just kind of make our way back fighting stuff. And we can maybe try to ding on the way. Next level of skinning's at 19. We have a little while to go, thankfully. Yeah, I think it'll be... I don't think we're getting skill ups off of everything we skin right now. So it'll be a little bit before we have to worry about it. I'm hoping we can hit 50. We should try to hit 50 herbalism before we go back to Ironforge. Because I would like to train the next rank of herbalism so that we don't have to worry about that capping out. Typically, Dun Morogh is a really good place to level up herbalism, but there's so many people that we're not getting all of the nodes. We got up to 150 already. Yeah, we unlocked 150 skinning. It actually, the skinning you can train up to 150 at like level 7, I think. We figured out that I think it's fishing that caps you, and you can't train the next rank of fishing until you're level 10. But with skinning, we were able to do it already. So the next jump is from 150 to 225. Lael, Amazon Basics has dumbbells now? I have to check that out. I need some 80-pound dumbbells. You used to be able to get them for like $1 a pound, but now even the cheaper ones are more like $1.50 a pound. They're just incredibly expensive. And the crappy thing is, like, I want the 80-pounders, like, just because I know I can't bench 100-pound dumbbells anymore. I used to be able to bench 100-pound dumbbells. I just know that I haven't lifted heavy in a long time, and I'm not gonna. So I'm gonna get the 80 pounds, and then like 6 or 7 months later, I'm gonna have to get the 100-pound ones, if I can even find 100-pound dumbbells. The last place I saw that had them was like, it was a fitness center in Kansas City that I went to, and they had 100-pound dumbbells, and that was like the only gym I'd ever been to that had them. $80-pound bags of concrete are $6. It would be hard to engineer a way to safely bench press 80-pound bags of concrete. I'm sure it's possible. Someone could probably do it. Someone handy could probably engineer a way to do that. The Amazon ones only go to 60. Yeah, see, that's what I was worried about. I'm gonna have to go to like an actual sports store or some kind of outlet if I want ones that are bigger than 60. I have the ones I have are 60. That's unfortunately like my heaviest dumbbell right now. It's been that way for a while, so I'm used to it. My body's used to it. Every once in a while, I miss lifting heavy. Every once in a while, I miss lifting really heavy, but then I remind myself that I'm going to be 41 years old this year and that it's okay. Like, no one needs me to be able to lift that heavy. But 80 pounds would be nice. If I had the 80-pound dumbbells, I could probably be happy with that. That would get my bench press, my squat, and my deadlift up to at least 160. And then I could just work on, like, increasing my reps. I think I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna buy those soon. You need me to lift heavy? Fair. I just meant, like, for practical uses in my life. The practical uses of my existence are probably never going to require me to be able to lift that much weight. You know what I mean? Like there's functional strength, and then there's strength that you have that you just don't ever really use. And for my life, I have fallen into the second category. I've never had a profession, a job, a sports activity where I've actually needed to use any of the strength that I've cultivated. it's just been out of a way to stay healthy and just to have a, like a positive habit in my life. Carrying all the bags from the car at once? Oh, I can do that. That's biceps. Yeah, I can curl the 60 pounds, and that's like pretty heavy for curls. So I can carry all the bags at once. I got that down. Yeah, we got that. Can I lift my big dog? Oh yeah, he's only like 75 or 80 pounds. Yeah. I can lift him. I don't know if he'd let me lift him. He would probably bite me right in my throat and kill me if I tried to pick him up. So like, it wouldn't be a good idea. But I'm sure I could. I can lift my kid and he's 93 pounds. So... I keep telling him that one day he's going to get too big for me to lift him up. He just doesn't... I don't think he believes me. I don't think he believes there's ever going to be a time when I can't lift him up. Which is great, because he's going to be like 6'7" and 250 pounds. And I'm still going to be 6'4" and 210 pounds. So yes, there will be a day when I will not be able to lift him. If I'm lucky enough to live that long. My dog is not man's best friend. No, my dog is nobody's best friend. My big dog does not like... He doesn't... I don't think he likes existence. You know how, like, in WoW you summon the Void Walker? And every once in a while the Void Walker will go, I don't like this place. That's what my dog is like. My dog wakes up every day and he goes, I don't like this place. He finds reality abrasive. Every creature, every sound, every glimmer of light. He basically hates all of it, yeah. Send me back. Yeah, send me back. Right, he's not happy to be here. And I don't know why. We tried to socialize him the right way and treat him the right way. He always had plenty of toys to play with when he was a puppy. He got to go out for walks and hikes. But his behavior and his reactions towards people and objects and dogs just got worse and worse over time. It's like typically the more you expose a dog to something, like the better they get about it, but he was always the opposite. I remember when he was young, we like kept taking him on hikes and he'd like have very bad reactions to other hikers, other dogs. And we thought, well, we'll keep taking him, and like eventually he'll understand that these things are okay, that like nobody's gonna hurt him. He hasn't had any bad experiences with these other people or with these other dogs, so he'll get better. And he didn't. He just gradually kept getting worse. And then he got big to a point where like it wasn't okay to have him out. Because like while I could control him, it was probably really scary to people to watch me have to control him. You know what I mean? Like, I could restrain him, it was fine. But it was probably very uncomfortable for people to watch me have to do that. Because I would crouch down and I would just hug him. I would just hug him from behind as he, like, viciously tried to, like, bark and lunge at people and other animals. And I finally decided that it wasn't okay to, like, subject other people to that kind of stress. Since he wasn't getting better. And so now he doesn't get to go for hikes. He doesn't really often get to go for walks. When he's lucky, he gets to play fetch in the backyard. And that's about the highlight of his life. Your new catchphrase will be, I find reality abrasive. It's a good one. I think a lot of people feel that way. Curling 60 pounds is a lot. It is a lot, but I've been weightlifting for like longer than a lot of adults have been alive. I've been lifting weights for like 20 years. And like most stupid gym bros back in the day, back when I first started, I thought the most important thing was my biceps. So unfortunately, like throughout my life, my biceps have been the muscle group that has gotten the most exercise. Because back in the day, I was stupid and uneducated. So there was like a year where I basically only worked out my biceps and did push-ups. So they had a little bit of a head start. Why am I playing on the EU server? I did make a video about that. Yeah, I have a video all about it. If you give me 1 minute, I will put in a link to this video. Doot, 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 doot. There we go. Copy. And paste. That is me explaining why I am playing on EU servers. I'm gonna hang on to some of the leather that we're collecting, and I'm gonna see if we can sell it on the auction house for more silver than we would vendor it for. If I can sell it on the auction house for more silver than I can vendor it for, then I will try to put more of it on the AH, just to help out the growing economy, and feel like I'm contributing in some way to the server. The same thing with green items. Like any green items I will try to put on the auction house. We haven't really gotten any green items yet, but obviously we're still really young. People are buying it for more than it goes for on the vendor. That's awesome. I need to see like what the stack sells for, and then I want to put it up for just a little bit more than it vendors for. I don't need to make a huge profit, but I need to make the profit that tells me that it's worth it to hold on to it long enough to get it to the auction house, because inventory space is really critical right now. So as long as I can make a tiny little profit off of it, then it's worth it. Am I going to go into combat on this character? Yeah, I think we will level up as combat first. And then we'll try different specs as we level up. Once we get into like the level 30s, then maybe we'll try something else that sounds interesting. Unless we're just loving combat, but typically when we do classic era characters, I like to try out a few different specs. It helps to keep things fresh once you're passing like the 100 hour mark, going on your second 100 hours. How do you unlock the Questie quest tracker window? Like to move it around, you mean? Like if I want to move this? I'm pretty sure you hold down control. You can't do anything in combat, so in combat you have like zero control over it. Let me get out of combat and I'll see. I think you hold down control and then you can move it around. Yeah, I can hold down control and then I have free range to move it around. We will hit level 10 eventually, and then I'll get out of here. All I'm trying to do is hit level 10, do a bunch of skinning, then we'll go train dual wield, and then we're going to finish up all of the rest of the questing here. I know some people are probably wondering, like, why in the hell is he in this Yeti cave just fighting Yeti endlessly? What is this person doing? I do have a reason for my madness. And yeah, we're obviously trying to skin, like, basically everything, which is slowing down the leveling process, obviously. But I feel like it's worth it. I feel like there's no other time when it's more worth it to slow down and try to do professions than when you're on a fresh start server. It's always worth it, but right now it's like really, really worth it because we are completely broke. And, you know, I can't rely on streamer privilege here to make any gold because nobody has any gold. Even if someone wanted to give me gold, they don't have it. They can't do it. So we're in like a completely fend for yourself type of situation. And on the rogue, we're going to be really reliant on being able to get new weapons. Like every 5 levels, we need to have some new weapons. So we're going to want to be able to purchase stuff off the auction house. It's because I like the wiggling toes. Yeah, yeah. I just like to subject you guys to the wiggling toes. Oh dear God. Let's pop evasion. Yeah, same thing with me when it comes to working out, man. It's like, it's basically, it's just a habit. I think I do it out of habit. And like, your body gets addicted to the endorphins you get when you work out. And so like, when you don't get your workout in, you just feel kind of bad. Look at this. Look at this crazy stuff that got dropped on me. Oh my God. I got all this stuff dropped on me? That's incredibly rude. We have an incredibly rude person. I have to, like, I don't want to put on a tinfoil hat. But I feel like that might have been intentional. I feel like that might have been an intentional thing. Because I don't think I've ever seen 9 mobs just get dropped on me, like, through, like, an accident, you know? It seemed intentional. Oh God. Oh, we're not too far. And we got disconnected. Okay. Okay, I hope we can get right back in. Sniped? Maybe sniped, yeah. That's what it felt kind of intentional. So we'll see. The truth will be in whether or not it happens again. The thing is, I didn't see another player super close to us. I didn't see like anybody run up and hit the mob that I was fighting, but maybe they did something from range that I didn't see. There were a couple of other players around. There were several groups of 3. Yeah, it all looked kind of weird. Yeah, but for them to have 9 mobs on them, because I got 2 different groups of 3 dropped on me. There was an initial group of 3, which I think we could have handled, and then there was a second group of 3. I don't know, maybe. But in like the other question is, why would they run to me? Typically, what puts you on someone's aggro chain is like you attack a mob they're attacking, or they buff you, or they heal you, or you buff them, or you heal them. So I don't know. Let's chill here for a second. Okay, we're not gonna chill here for very long. So the only one around right now that I can see is Spoons. Level 7 mage. This person's been here for a minute. We'll just try to pay a little bit more attention. Hey, think about this. At least we're not playing on hardcore. Because that would have been the end of our hardcore journey. Because I definitely wasn't expecting anything like that to happen to me in this cave. I thought in this cave, with us being level 9, the mobs being level 6 and 7, that we were relatively safe. So that would have been an early, premature end to our hardcore run. Some of the leashing has been weird. Yeah, like, I noticed, like, was it Sod? No, it was the official hardcore realms where, like, leashing and aggro was weird. But see how, like, this guy ran by me. I'm not in combat. And so if he leashes this guy, then the guy should run back to his spawn point as an example. Because I wasn't in combat with it. But yeah, I guess maybe the leashing in the aggro is weird like it was in on the official hardcore realms. The guy's in my guild? Nice, nice. Oh yeah, he is. That's probably why he was standing on top of me. So we could probably rule him out. He's probably not trying to get me killed. He's probably just standing on top of me because he noticed we're in the same guild. Yeah, Sod messes up a lot of things. Hardcore messed a few things up when they opened those hardcore servers, but Sod takes the cake for unintentional, accidental changes to Classic. Sod definitely wins. Long after Sod no longer exists, we're going to be dealing with, like, the repercussions of some of the changes they made for Sod. Like, not being able to mount up on the boats and on the Zeppelins. It's crazy that hasn't been reverted yet. I would say, like, the only thing I have that I would call like an injury that's probably workout related is my right elbow pops. Like, basically every time I go full extension, I have this little piece inside of my elbow that is like uncomfortable and almost feels like it pops every time. And that's been with me for like 7 years now. And it doesn't seem to get worse, but it's one of those things where, like, if I was a pro athlete, I would go get elective surgery and I would get that taken care of. Since I'm just an average person who doesn't really need to use that physical strength in any way, I just kind of ignore it and I work around it. But yeah, I would say that's the only... My left knee is not great, but it hardly ever causes me problems. I would say my elbow is like the only, like, workout related thing that I think just the repetitions over time have kind of worn out, like, part of the inner workings of my elbow. In 10 more years, I don't know what that will feel like. In 10 more years, I might be looking at elective surgery to have it repaired. But it really hasn't gotten worse over time. And one thing I've always been careful with is I've always been really careful about my form. Like, a lot of people start working out and they start trying to lift really heavy right away, and they don't really pay attention to proper form, and they end up with things like hernias and stuff like that, or they hurt their back. And I've gotten lucky, and like from early on I tried to practice good form. I always try to warm up on lighter weights before I move to heavier weights, and so I've always had a couple of like good habits that I think helped me from like getting any serious injuries. I think track herbs is... Oh yeah, track herbs went off when we died. Thank you. No, you're absolutely right. We lost track herbs when we died. Yeah, see, I never did risky activities like skateboarding. I played roller hockey when I was a kid, but I never did anything like super risky, like trying to do tricks and stuff. Although, like, I guess riding my bicycle as a kid, I did a lot of dumb things on my bike, but I never managed to like severely injure myself, despite all the stupid stuff we would do on our bikes as kids. We dropped a couple of frames. Hey, you might have lost some frames. Everything looks okay. Bitrate looks fine. Everything looks steady, but yeah, you might have lost it. If you saw some frame loss, it might have been a real thing. OBS is reporting some lost frames. 1700 lost frames. I don't know what that equates to from like a viewing experience, but yeah, it might have been a little blip. It's been one of those days. At this point, I'm just lucky that OBS, after the trouble I had this morning getting started, I'm just lucky that OBS is working for me at all. I just have to remain positive about it because, like, at the beginning of the day, I just didn't want to do anything. And realistically, I still haven't fixed those problems. We've just kind of worked around the problems, but yeah. Here's hoping it just keeps working. It seems like if we want to actually fight guys, we have to be, like, deep in the cave. Not a lot of action respawning out here. This guy just got straight up killed. Oh god, what the heck? Hello there, hi. This guy got straight up killed. This mob walked away. Didn't fully reset. Didn't regen its HP, and then came after me. I guess maybe this was its spawn point? Like maybe that was its, like... I don't know. But this guy just got killed. But yeah, right now we're doing skinning and herbalism. I think I want to do herbalism alchemy eventually. Skinning and leatherworking is a good idea. Especially in a universe where we don't have a lot of money. But part of me kind of wanted to do alchemy to save money later. Like, I feel like especially at endgame, like, there's a lot of cost involved in making sure you have all the potions that you need for content. And so I thought if I was an alchemist, I could make my own potions, I don't have to buy them on the auction house, and then I could sell some on the auction house. And I can make money that way. So I think I'm gonna go herbalism, alchemy eventually. I'm doing skinning right now to primarily make money. But we'll see how it goes. I kind of like having skinning. It's hard for me to not have skinning, because I always feel like that means we're just leaving money on the ground. How long will it take me to get to 60? It'll probably take me about 200 hours. There are plenty of people that can do it faster than that. But it's a long journey no matter how you do it. But I think we did the Paladin, and the Paladin took me like 240 hours. And the kill rate on the Paladin was really, really slow. I think on this character it'll be closer to 200 hours. The AH restriction sucks not being able to buy stuff. Yeah, on a fired up account, like you fired up a new account. Yeah, I got lucky and my restriction ended like a week ago. Like just about a week ago, my 30-day restriction ended. Basically just in time for this. Because yeah, it sucks. You can sell stuff on the auction house. You just can't buy stuff. And you can receive mail. You just can't send mail. So you're not fully locked out. Like, thankfully you can still sell stuff, so you can still make money. But yeah, you can't buy stuff, so you can't really use the money that you're making. Oh hey, there's level 10. Nice. Okay. We're not gonna hearth, we're really close to town anyway, so let's run back to town. We'll train level 10, and then we'll finish up all the rest of the questing. And I can stop murdering Yeti for hours at a time. And so we also have talent points, or like a talent point. We're gonna go right into combat, I think. And we'll start reducing the cost of our Sinister Strike. So we'll probably do a similar build to what our prior rogue had. So we'll go Sinister Strike, we'll go Lightning Reflexes, we'll go Deflection into Riposte. We might eventually grab Precision because we're gonna need it. Oh, we need this for dual wield. Okay. So I almost want to go here first. I want Deflection as well. But I also... Oh, this is dual wield spec. Okay. I know I want Deflection because I know I want Riposte. I guess the question is, like, is there anything else in this tree that I want? Not really. So I can probably do 5 points in both of these. And that would get us all the way down here. Because I besides Riposte, I don't think I'm going to take Improved Sprint. I don't think I'm going to take Endurance. So maybe we're just going into these, like, full 5 points each. We'll see. You're wondering how long until you make an alt on Fresh? Are you wondering, like, how long until you think you'll do it? Or how long do you think before it's, like, acceptable? I think the answer is probably different for everybody. I'm not going to make an alt on Fresh until I'm level 60 on this character. Because I know myself. And I know better. I think some people can have alts, and they can play alts, and they can still have their main. But as a prior altaholic, I have to stay away from alts. The reason why we were able to get the Pally to 60 is because I didn't focus on any alts, like, at all during that time. So I'm gonna take the same approach with this character. I'm gonna try to not fire up an alt at all.
Watch your back.
That's the goal. How long until you succumb? Yeah, that answer is probably gonna be different for everybody. I always tell myself, like, oh, maybe in, like, the level 40s or 50s it'll be okay to start an alt, but I feel like it's always a trap. I feel like it's basic, because, like, listen, every hour you spend on your alt is an hour that you're not leveling your main.
How are ya?
That's really, like, just keep reminding yourself of that. Every single hour of your limited time that you spend leveling an alt, you're not working on leveling your main. So instead of leveling your alt, you should just level your main. Dustin, good afternoon, buddy. Welcome to the stream.
Hey, good. Watch your back. Interest you on a pint?
Alright, we get Slice and Dice, we get Sprint, and we get Dual Wield. What a great level. Oh, we got Sap rank 2? Or no, we got Sap just in general. That's a huge level. We get all kinds of fun stuff. Alright, there's Slice and Dice. So I'm gonna move this like so. I think Slice and Dice is good there. Sprint can come out. Gouge needs to come out. Let's do that. We got Sap. Backstab we can only do with daggers, and I'm not planning to use daggers long term. It's kind of one of the reasons why I haven't been bothering with stealth very much. Okay. Now the issue is I don't have a second dagger. That's the issue now. So maybe we just buy, like, a white dagger off of the vendor.
What can I do for you?
Maybe that's what we have to do.
Safe travels.
Unless we think maybe... Do you think maybe I can get some green items off the auction house for, like, really cheap? I have 37 silver to my name. Do you think it's worth it just to go check the auction house? Maybe not, because, like, I kind of want to use swords, and I haven't trained swords yet. I don't know if I want to buy daggers when what I really want is to have swords. Blue Canary, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the stream, and thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Just use the skinning knife? Oh my god, can I use the skinning knife and have it still function for skinning mobs?
Keep your feet on the ground.
Will that work? Oh, look at this. Here we go. This is fine.
See you soon.
Yeah, he gave us something. He gave us a dagger. We'll just do this for now. It's not ideal. This is not an ideal setup, but it'll save us money for now. It'll also save me a trip to Ironforge. And like when we get back to Stormwind, then I'll train swords and we'll look at the auction house. But I think for now we're okay. I'm gonna head out to the west first. We're gonna take care of these two quests, and then we'll head over to the east. We'll take care of everything here. And the plan is to wrap up this zone. Then we're gonna grab the flight point in Loch Modan, and then we're gonna head back to Elwyn Forest. And then we have a bunch of stuff left to do there. Yeah, the rogue quest does give us a dagger, but we're not going to work on that one until we're back in Stormwind, so it's going to be a little bit. And ultimately, like, I'm going to end up using swords long term. Like, we can use daggers for the time being if we happen to get a dagger that's decent. But long term, I'll be probably focused on, like, swords, maces. We had a sword and a mace, I think, on the last rogue, and that was working pretty well. Humans have sword bonus. Yeah, I think we do have extra skill with swords. I think maybe it's swords and maces. But this is two-handed swords. Oh, okay. Yeah, our sword spec unfortunately is only... Oh, swords and two-handed swords. Okay, no, it's good. I see it now. I can read. Swords and two-handed swords. We don't have maces. I don't know why I thought we had mace specialization. Oh, we do. I just can't read. Again, same problem. I'm just not reading stuff. Yeah, there we go. Mace and swords. You'd think they would put the weapon ones, like, together. But it seems like we're going in alphabetical order. Which I guess I respect that. There are dual specs now? No. They did not add dual spec with the launch of the new servers. They said they would add them in the future. They said soon. I heard that they're not adding them until the first patch. That's what I heard yesterday. Ooh, we have a little bit of YouTube lag, guys. If you're getting lag, the lag is real, and the lag is yeah, some YouTube lag. I told you guys at the beginning of the day it was going to be a fun day. We'll see if this straight. What I'll do is I'll drop my bitrate down a little bit. Sometimes dropping my bitrate down helps this. So I tend to stream at a higher bitrate than what YouTube likes. There we go. We'll see if it's green now, so we should be okay. I say we should be okay, but who knows? And we're getting pretty close to 50 herbalism. So I'm sure we'll get that before the next time we're near a trainer. I just have to remember to actually train the next rank. Combat, yawn. Here's the deal. I'll play the way I want to play, and you play the way you want to play. And we'll just leave it at that. When I play a rogue, I don't like to play a sneaky rogue. The combat vision of a rogue is really like what I like. Oh dear God. This would have been a good time to have sprint. Sprint would have been really good. So maybe I should be saving sprint for when I don't want to die. Although we managed to get away, surprisingly. 7 HP on that one. 7 HP. I don't have any food. That's probably something I need to fix. I have buff food, which I should certainly eat. Yeah, like as a rogue, I don't even like to use stealth that much. I probably won't use a lot of stealth until we get cheap shot. And the only reason that I make an exception for cheap shot is because it has a short stun and it stacks 2 combo points right away. But until we have cheap shot, like I'm not going to be going into stealth very often. I like to run up to things and start stabbing them with a sword. That's kind of my preferred game style. How complicated is the rotation on a rogue? My man, this is Classic Era. There are no complicated rotations in Classic Era. The classes are relatively simple. You can read the abilities and they make sense. There's no trick about when to use certain abilities. Like it's all really straightforward and makes sense. You don't have any really complicated rotations the way you would think about rotations in retail. Those types of things don't exist. And more importantly, in Classic Era, is a lot of times you have situational buttons that have long cooldowns that you kind of have to know how to use them. You also have like little tricky buttons that are very useful if you know how to use them properly. But what you don't have is a lot of complicated like rotations. On the rogue, what I'm doing right now is I'm stacking a couple of combo points with Sinister Strike. I'm using Slice and Dice. That's going to increase my attack speed. That's going to get me through most fights. If the mob is still up, I'll do a couple more Sinister Strikes and I'll try to finish with an Eviscerate. It's not like a rotation type of issue, you know? And most classes are that way. Classic WoW is an RPG, whereas modern WoW is an action game. So the combat feels completely different. Are there any add-ons that I would absolutely recommend? If you already play with no add-ons, there's no add-on that's like completely essential. For most of my WoW career, I didn't use any add-ons. It wasn't until Season of Mastery that people convinced me to start using some add-ons. I would say like the most useful ones that I have are like Bagnon's really nice. I really like the combined inventory. We have Leatrix Plus. Leatrix Plus is automatically vendoring our junk. And Leatrix Plus also does repairs. Whenever we talk to a repair person, Leatrix will automatically repair us. But not essential. Obviously we're using Questie. Not essential. And we're using Dialogue UI to change the quest text into like a prettier window. But I really don't think for Classic Era that anything is like truly essential. Especially if you're used to playing without add-ons. But yeah, I do have the add-ons that we're using, or at least most of them I have them in the description. I don't know if that's like everything we're using, but it's definitely the major ones. Next time we're back in town, I need to either buy some food or I need to hang on to some of the food that we make. Because yeah, we're getting to that point. There is food in Classic Era that's different than just Stamina Spirit, but you don't unlock it till later on. Yeah, most of and the reason for that is, and this might blow your mind, in Classic Era, especially while you're leveling up, Stamina and Spirit are your most useful stats. That's why all the buff food while you're leveling up has Stamina Spirit on it, because those are actually your most useful stats while you're leveling up. Because unlike any other version of the game, in Classic Era, Spirit controls how much health you regen out of combat. Whereas by Cataclysm, Spirit only controls how much mana you regen, so if you don't use mana, it's completely useless. In Classic Era, it helps both mana and health regen. So yeah, it's actually, those are very useful stats while leveling up in Classic. Whereas in other versions of the game, they wouldn't be as useful because of how the systems have changed in Cataclysm and beyond. It's a different game. Training Sword of Agility. It's really too bad that's a two-handed sword, but we will definitely sell that on the auction house. I don't really know who that's good for. It's got agility on it, so maybe a hunter would want the 4 agility. They can equip two-handed swords. But besides a hunter, I don't really know. Maybe just a desperate warrior that like needs a green weapon. Donut S, I appreciate you saying so. Thanks for being here and for hanging out with us. It would be a good sword for hunters. We'll sell it. Yeah, that'll be the first green item that we put on the auction house. I'm gonna do my part to make sure the economy can go around. Somebody will buy it, I think. If we put it up for like a reasonable price. What I would really like, I would love for there to be an add-on that could tell me how much stuff vendors for. Like if I just hover over the item, I would like to be able to see in the tooltip how much an item would vendor for. That would be really useful to be able to see that without having to actually go to a vendor. I just don't know if there's an add-on that handles that. Vendor, it's called the vendor price add-on. Yeah, I might need to grab that really quick. There's a Pawn does it too. Atlas Loot handles it. There's lots of options. I've had Pawn installed before. I think Pawn does other things too that I didn't like. Was Pawn like the gear score one that like attributed gear score, or like it told you when an item was an upgrade or when it wasn't an upgrade? I think Pawn does a couple of things. Vendor price add-on sounds good. Let me look for that one. Because that's really all I want it to do. I don't want it to have any other functionality. I just wanted to show the vendor prices. Try to keep it as light as possible. Yeah, vendor price. Let's try this. If you don't have Questie, do you need to look up locations for objectives? You don't need to look up anything. You could explore and like open up the map, and a lot of times you will have quests that lead you to new areas. They're called breadcrumb quests. So you will basically always get a quest that will lead you to the next place. Very rarely are you left just like not knowing where you can go next. You'll basically always have a breadcrumb that's ready to take you to like a new area. But if you don't want to use Questie, I would say just go explore, open up the map. But that is one of the better functions of Questie, is that you can open the map and you can see like where do I have quests to pick up. All right, let's see. Did that work automatically? It doesn't seem to have done anything. Let's check our add-on list. No. It doesn't seem to have even... I installed it, but it doesn't seem to have actually installed. What am I missing? Reload should get it. Yeah, okay. Oh, this is Cataclysm. I'm an idiot. I need to be looking in the actual classic category. Let's try that one more time. Now let's reload. Yeah, I was in the wrong category in CurseForge. That's all that happened. There we go. 18 copper, 3 silver, 6 copper. This is perfect. That's exactly what I need. And that way when I go to sell stuff on the auction house, I can make sure that I'm selling it for close to vendor price, but above the vendor price. That's excellent. Very big quality light. Let's go back. We need one more restabilization. These guys keep chasing me like clear out of the area. Still a very dangerous quest, even though we have dual wield. These guys are still kind of kicking my butt. Oh, we're having more lag. Apparently it's just going to be a laggy day. I am going to turn my bitrate down, which is not what I like to do, but apparently in this case I have to. I'm going to go down to 10,000 kilobits per second and see if that stops us from having to deal with this lag. There we go. Sorry guys, this is a YouTube ingestion problem. So unfortunately, like besides lowering my bitrate a little bit, there's not anything I can do to fix it. It's not like it's something I can do on my end to like make my internet better or anything like that. It's just a matter of is YouTube willing to ingest the stream, or is YouTube unable to ingest the stream? That's basically what it boils down to. It looks like popping my bitrate down brought it back to stable. So I'll leave the bitrate there for now, and like maybe I'll pop it back up later. Yeah, my scene for... So that was the first problem that I had today. The first problem that I had today was the way that I use OBS to show you guys the game stopped working today. And so the first problem I had was that I usually tell OBS to look at the WoW EXE. That way, when we look at Battle.net today, we have this. This did not exist yesterday. This drop down here has never existed before. And this has something to do with why my OBS is looking at the WoW EXE and not pulling anything up. And so I hope I can get it fixed sometime tonight. But yeah, for right now, all I can do is show you my screen. And so now you have to see whatever is on my screen. And I apologize for that, but there was no way to fix it that I could see. I tell it to look at the WoW exe, and all you guys see is a black screen. And it was working fine last night, and today it just stopped working. That was the beginning of my day of technical issues. When I knew the day was kind of going to be, like, not a great one, is when I started the stream and OBS did not work. So, yeah. It's just, unfortunately, this is the life that we live right now. The alternative was I stopped streaming today and I spent my time trying to fix it. So instead of trying to troubleshoot it any more than I already tried, I just decided to carry on. Alright, we are done with gnomes. Let's head down to the Frostmane Hold and get that one taken care of. Somebody is not looting all of their kills. And as a skinner, I find that to be very rude. Please loot your bodies. That's a rip. Yeah, we can't. We're not equipped to be here. I don't think I can be here unless I have better weapons. I think what I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna head back to Elwyn Forest for now. Yeah, I didn't like how that felt. That was just bad. I should definitely, if I can't fight two guys at once, then we have an equipment problem.
What's on your mind?
So yeah, I think let's head to Ironforge. And I think I was gonna try to finish everything here, but now I'm thinking like until I learn swords, until I have better weapons, I really can't. I really can't finish everything here. Having two daggers, like two white daggers, is not really cutting it. It's not cutting it. Let's catch a repair. We're gonna sell all this stuff. I don't really think there's anything here that we need to vendor. I need to buy some food.
Safe travel.
Let's buy some food and then we'll head to Ironforge. Dan, welcome, man. No, thankfully it's not hardcore. We've died a couple of times. I'm very happy that we decided not to bother with hardcore this time around.
What can I do for you?
Let's just grab let's grab a stack. The thing about selling stuff on the auction house is that even if it does sell, like we don't get that money right away. And it's kind of tough to not get the money right away. Because we are certainly broke.
Hi, how are you? Alrighty then. What do you guys think would be like a good auction house price for these green weapons? They vendor for 3 silver. Do you think we could sell these for like 10 silver? Or do you think 10 silver on a new server is a little bit too greedy? I guess we could look at comparable prices. 6 to 10. Yeah, we'll check it. We'll check comparable prices and see if anybody else has the item up for sale. You feel like the auction house is messed up right now? Yeah, like in what way? Right now you probably see like some people posting stuff for way more than anybody could afford. Like I'm sure there are some people that are putting stuff up for like multiple golds when like obviously nobody has multiple golds right now. Let's have a look, shall we? Personally, I want some swords. So, like, I'm gonna train them in Stormwind as soon as we get back. So, like, let's look at some swords. I feel like 19 is, like, way too much.
I feel like 59 silver is obviously, that's obviously way too much, you know? Like, no one's gonna be able to afford that right now. Yeah, that's way too much. And so I guess I would be probably stuck with something like the Swords of Stamina. Like maybe we buy, this is a 2.10. So maybe for now I do like a sword in my main hand and a dagger in my offhand, or I could do a mace in my main hand. But I would have to train maces. I'm gonna buy the Sword of Stamina right here. Let's check out maces. And then maybe like a mace of attack power. Get 2 swords. Yeah. I guess my attack speeds don't really matter until I have poisons. If I'm interpreting that correctly. We could do attack power, like maybe like a straight up attack power could be good. But stamina's not bad either. We'll just go stamina. Are these unique? These are not unique, are they? No. Okay. And then for our stuff, I'm gonna put this up at like same kinds of pricing. Like I'm gonna put these up at 8 silver. And see if they sell for 8 silver. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. I feel like that's reasonable. Especially looking at a lot of the prices that are already up there. I feel like it's reasonable. You think they'll sell pretty quickly? I hope so. I hope so, because I could really use the money. Yeah, this should help us a lot. We're talking about a pretty huge DPS upgrade compared to the crappy white items that we currently have. Alright, guys, I'm going to put us on a flight to Stormwind. I'm going to step away for a couple minutes. I need to refill my coffee, and my wife brought me a snack. So I am going to eat my snack, refill my coffee, and I should be back like shortly after we land, if not before we land, but we'll see. We will see. Let's see, how long is the flight? It's a 3-minute flight. I'm probably just going to take 5 minutes. And I'll be back then. I will see you guys on the flip side. Alright, we are back. You hope I have enough money to train swords? I do. It's like 9 or 10 silver. We should be good. Now we won't have a lot of money for anything else. But training swords we can do. And then, what else do we have to do? We have to do... We had a rogue quest. But I guess I needed to follow up with that in Ironforge? Where's the rogue quest that I just pick up here in Elwyn Forest? Do I have to go to Goldshire for that? Yeah, seek out SI7. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be a little bit of like unfortunate running back and forth. So maybe I'll just hold off on that one. I'm not really worried about grabbing the dagger right away.
King's honor.
Since we're gonna do swords. There we go, 10 silver.
Go with honor, friend.
There we go. Now we should actually do a significant amount of damage. Yeah, we should go slap some low-level stuff to get that weapon skill going, shouldn't we? At this level, it should go pretty quickly. Sorry, I got a whisper I wanted to respond to. Which I usually don't. I usually don't even see whispers, but I happen to see this one. There we go. We have joined a new guild. We have left the leveling guild. And we have joined Honorbound. this was somebody who reached out to me after seeing in my video how I talked about how I was like kind of trepidatious about playing on the EU and how it was like kind of like a little bit of social anxiety. This guy, he reached out to me and like sent me a little whisper, so we are gonna hang out in this guild. Alright, what do I need to do? Cooking, we don't really have a lot to cook. I can vendor. The skins that we have can go. And like, sadly, I'm almost at a point where I'm contemplating buying another bag. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna try to keep waiting. I am gonna, you know, I shouldn't sell the silver leaf. I should either put it on the auction house or I should save it. I'm gonna try to hang on to it. It's like really just taking up space in the inventory though. Should we do fishing? I think I will do fishing. I don't know if I will fish today. But I will fish. I'll next time we stream, it'll probably be tonight actually. I think I'm gonna come back on tonight for a little while. Next time we stream, I will start the stream with fishing. We will get our fishing going. Let's go ahead and we'll grab the fishing pole.
Be careful.
And we can train that nearby. In this guild, I don't think I have permission to invite. Let me see. I don't have permission to invite in this guild. This doesn't seem, this is how this was described. This is an actually like close-knit group of people. So it doesn't seem to be one of the big like just randomly give everybody permission to invite type of guilds. You know how like typically you get into a guild and like everybody's got permission to invite? I don't know if that's what they're doing here. It seems like it's a little bit of a smaller affair. Maybe not smaller, but maybe just more close-knit. If I do get promoted, I will though. If I get the ability to do that. Yeah, it's a more close-knit group, which is probably going to be better for me, realistically.
How are you? See you later.
Alright, Murloc time. Now these Murlocs, we should be able to pick these Murlocs apart. This should not be a problem at this point. Not at level 10, not with dual wield, and not with the cool brand new swords we got. What's the plan with the character? To get it to 60. And to hopefully do some raiding. That's basically it in a nutshell. I don't plan on doing alts while we level this up. I plan on completely focusing on this character until we get it to 60. And then we're gonna be 60, and then we're gonna stab stuff with swords. And then we're gonna keep stabbing stuff with swords until loot pops out. And then we're gonna rinse and repeat. At this level, our skill is high enough. At this level, like, our skill is high enough that, like, we're already at 40. Like, its cap is, like, 55. We're already, like, basically capped out, see? Yeah, we're fine. On a rogue, you swing so much that you're leveling up your weapon skill a lot faster than other melee classes. Because whereas, like, a normal class would be swinging once, we're swinging twice. And we're getting skill ups on our main hand and our offhand, so we're going to skill up weapon skills really, really fast. It's not going to be the same kind of problem that it was like on the paladin that took forever. Ah, I don't like that. Let's just back off of that. That was a pile of murlocs. Yeah, when they have TBC on the roadmap like that, what that means is that this server is going to progress through all the phases of vanilla, and then by next year, it will go into the Burning Crusade expansion, which was the first expansion to WoW. So it's just a progression server. And they said after that, they might go on to Wrath of the Lich King, they might not. But we know for sure they're at least going into the Wrath era. We are done here with the quest. You're close to my location and you have 2 bags that you made. If I would like them, I would like them. If you would like to give me 2 bags, I would not argue with that. I'd be very appreciative. So the progression aspect of the server only applies to the new servers they just opened up. They opened up new servers yesterday. They're in the anniversary tab of the server list. And those are the new progression servers. No other server is changing. All of the other classic era servers are staying exactly as they are. Only these new anniversary servers are going to progress into TBC. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is actually huge. That helps a ton. Thank you. And there we go. Full bag slots. We didn't find a single bag in the wild. So that's a little bit sad. I hope that means later on we'll find bigger bags in the wild. Maybe we'll find some 8-slot bags eventually. Yeah, we saved 10 silver there. I'm glad I didn't buy those bags a couple minutes ago. Because yeah, now we just get to save the money, which is great. Let's see. We could go do the running around and wrap this up. Then we'll head out to the logging camp, which is going to be a little bit of a run. On the way, we will fight stuff and skin stuff. We'll look for herbs and all that. I said streamer privilege didn't apply on the server. I said it was less likely, yeah. We'd benefit less from streamer privilege. And so far that's been true. We have benefited a little less than we might like on an older server.
Hello. Safe travels. Have a good one.
Yeah, now the bags will start dropping like crazy. Yeah, right, exactly.
Hey there. See you around.
If they do, we'll replace our ugly brown bags. I wouldn't mind, you know, we'll need extra bags for the bank anyway. Eventually our bank will need bags, so it won't be that big of a waste if we do start to see some drop. You have a bank all with 10 bags and 200 gold stranded in Cataclysm, and you're never going back there. It does feel kind of sad. I once made a list of all the characters that I have abandoned. If you want to talk about sad, I filled up like half a notebook with the names of every character that I started since Classic came out in 2019 that I subsequently stopped playing. And I didn't even have room in the notebook to finish the list. I got to the back of the notebook and I was like, oh my god, I have to stop. It was like... The notebook is right next to me. How many pages was it? It was like many pages. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 pages of like, just like, it looks like that. I listed them all out and I filled like 4 or 5 pages with it. And it got to like, I think it was like 60 or 70 characters. By the time I got to that last page in the notebook, I realized I had like dozens of characters left to account for, and I gave up. I got from Classic launch into like the 3rd or 4th month we were doing hardcore. Now keep in mind, a lot of those were also hardcore characters. But yeah, I got into like the 3rd or 4th month of us doing hardcore on like Bloodsail Buccaneers when I was like, okay, I'm not going to have room in this notebook to even finish the quest, to finish the list. And then I got depressed and gave up.
See you around. Have a good one.
That's part of the reason why we're not playing alts anymore. There are no more alts. Characters get abandoned for like enough reasons in like different versions of the game. Like, you know, obviously there are versions of the game that I've completely stopped playing that like I really can't help it. If I'm not having a lot of fun in a version, like I'm not going to play that version of the game. So I've already abandoned like so many characters because of that there won't be any alts. Any character that we decide to start, we're going to play that character to 60. Are we getting 60 tonight? Absolutely. Yeah, somebody will. Somebody probably will. Alright, so we are done here. We're done. Let's head out to the east. Yeah, like we'll probably have a bank alt. Okay, I'll allow for the bank alt. We might have a bank alt eventually. If I start to feel like that's necessary. But we're not going to have any like active alts in the play rotation. There's more than enough stuff for us to do on this character. Like, even if we get tired of questing, like, okay, so questing gets lame, like, we can go grind, we can work on professions. Like, there's stuff that we can do. We can go fishing for 6 hours. And so I'm going to focus on stuff like that. Whenever I get that feeling of, like, oh man, like, the questing is dragging out. Which will happen in, like, the level 40s and stuff. We'll just make sure we take time to do other things and stay relatively refreshed. I think the big difference on this character, on this server, I think we're going to be able to do a lot more dungeons. I shouldn't jinx it, because I hope it pans out to be true. But with having access to the LFG, and being able to list myself as interested for activities, I think we'll be able to do a lot more dungeons. So I'm really thinking that's going to help the playthrough, like, not necessarily speed up, but it's going to feel very different than the Paladin playthrough, where we really didn't do dungeons at all after the initial Dead Mines runs. Because of the way the server was, like, people weren't doing a lot of low-level dungeons. And the ones they were doing as boost groups, which I absolutely hate. Yeah, they didn't put in the... It's not the automated LFG that teleports you to the run. It's the LFG they put into TBC when TBC came out. Where you just list yourself as interested, and then other people can pull that up and they can see, oh look, a rogue wants to do SFK. Whisper invite. It's that kind of like bulletin board style. And that way we don't have to rely on this. You can see, like, you know, we're not going to have to rely on this LFG bulletin board add-on to try to put together our groups. And I'm assuming the dungeon finder will open up for us at like level 15. Obviously, like, we can't do Dead Mines until like level 20, so it doesn't matter too much. I think it's level 15. At least it's level 15 in other versions of the game. So I'm assuming it's a level 15 unlock. Yeah, we're not, thankfully, like, we're not getting the automated one, and like, I don't want the automated one for Classic Era. I just want to be able to list myself as interested and not have to constantly spam chat, you know, like when, like, currently without it, you have to spam chat, like every 2 minutes you have to repost. And so having the bulletin board where you can list yourself, it just makes it so much easier. Especially just to be a DPS player, just kind of hanging out, waiting for someone to need a DPS, it makes your life a lot easier. You can list yourself, you can keep questing, eventually somebody whispers you. It's level 10. Oh. That's nice. I mean, there's no dungeons that you can do at that level, which is funny, but well, at least we'll get to have a look at it. Oh no, it's not. Well, I'm level 10. We don't have it yet. It can't be level 10. It's got to be level 15. Unless I'm missing something down here, because this is where they would normally put it. Yeah, I think it must be level 15. I'm sure a cursory Google search would tell us. It's on the mini-map. Okay. I'll play. I will move some of my icons around and see if that's true. Oh, damn. It's true. There it is. It was hidden underneath one of my 17 minimap buttons. No dungeon options yet. There we go. Oh, look, it even has the rolls. I don't think the one in TBC had the rolls right away. I could be wrong. Oh, we do have a talent point. Let's spend. We never spent this talent point. Let's spend the talent point. There you go. There it is. That's very cool. That's exactly what I want. Let's cut up to the north here. I want to head this way so we can explore the Jasper Lode mine before we head over and do anything else. Yeah, you could do like a Hogger group, you could use it to just like do elite quests in a zone. I think it's going to be really useful for a lot of reasons. I do think it's a great addition to have in Vanilla Era. Because they're smart because they realize like so many people are just using add-ons. And I'm glad they're kind of adopting a philosophy of like, if there's something we can put in the game that stops people from needing an add-on, let's put it in the game. I think that's a pretty good philosophy to have for like quality of life stuff. If people are using add-ons for what's basically just like big quality of life, and there's a way you can simply put the functionality into the game, I feel like that's the thing to do. Even if that means some changes. It seems like the responsible thing to do. Yeah, so you could use it for Elite Quest. So if you wanted to do Elite Quest, like, let's say I wanted to do the Elite Quests that are in Loch Modan. I would click on this, Loch Modan, I would click DPS, and then I would put, looking for Elite Quests. You know, you would just type it here. And then you'd list yourself. And then anybody who's looking for more for those activities could see you listed. So yeah, you can absolutely use it to like passively find groups for like the elite quest in certain zones. Yeah, see, some changes are not bad. Now, if you try to give druids polearms, well, then the community is going to revolt, apparently. But as long as we're not giving people new weapon types, most people seem to be okay with the changes. Now I did completely forget to train herbalism. That was something, thankfully we're not quite capped out yet, but we're getting pretty close to being capped out. We're gonna be capped out before we get back to a capital city, I feel like. Unless I start ignoring herbs, which I'm not willing to do. Yeah, as long as there's no way to teleport there instantly. Yeah, I don't think we should teleport instantly to the dungeons. I really would like them to turn on the summoning stones. I feel like getting 2 people out to the dungeon is sometimes an achievement in and of itself. and I would really like for the summoning stones to work. I feel like they don't do that in Classic Era because Warlocks have a lot of utility, because the Warlocks have the ability to summon people. And I think they worry that maybe that reduces a Warlock's place in a group. But then again, that requires the Warlock to be like the super responsible one that's always like the first person at the dungeon. Also, unlike the summoning stone, you need 3 people to use the Warlock summon. So it's like, you have a Warlock, sure, but you still have to get 2 other people out there. So a part of me wishes they would just turn on the summoning stones. Maybe I only feel that way because we mainly play Alliance. And on the Alliance, there are several dungeons that it's like a really big pain in the butt to get to. I'm looking at you, SFK. I'm looking at you, every Scarlet Monastery dungeon. Those are just kind of a pain to get to. There's not any like super close travel points that are safe. So maybe that's why I just really want there to be summon stones. Maybe if I was on the Horde side, it wouldn't matter to me, you know. Goldshire has an herb trainer. Yeah, it's in the mountains, right, yeah. By the time we're back in that, like, we're basically in Stormwind. But that is probably where we'll go to train the next rank. I have to fix a key binding really fast. It's been bothering me for a minute. Key bindings. There we go. Instant respawns? Yeah, a lot of the time. The server is so populated that a lot of the enemies are instantly respawning. It creates for some dynamic situations. I think that's a good way to put a positive spin on it. Dynamic situations. Also, sometimes you will switch layers. Like, sometimes you'll just find yourself in a different layer. And when that happens, it's likely that all the mobs that were dead will suddenly not be dead anymore. You think that Blizzard lowered the bag drop rates? That's tinfoil hat. That's like, it's getting close to tinfoil hat. Maybe. I would say if Blizzard did anything, I would say that it probably was an accident and not intentional. I feel like a lot of times, like, they don't intentionally do these things. I haven't seen any bags drop, but some people have told me they've gotten like 3 bags in Northshire Abbey. So I don't really know what to feel or think. I've played characters before where I haven't gotten lots of bags, but typically by level 10 we have found at least 1 bag. Sometimes we find that bag after we've bought all of our bags and it doesn't matter, but we typically find at least 1 bag. So I don't know what's going on. Should I level up leatherworking instead of alchemy?
What can I do for you?
I've leveled alchemy to max before in Season of Mastery. I've never leveled up leatherworking to max.
Go with honor, friend, or the Alliance. Light bless you. Go with honor, friend.
And I wonder if, like, with the state of the auction house and the fact that I could probably, like, sell green items on it for, like, decent amounts of silver, like, maybe I should do leatherworking. Part of me just doesn't want to not have skinning. Part of me is like, oh man, like, to not have skinning, that'd be such a waste. It's hard for me to not have it, to not be a skinner. I hate leaving everything on the ground. Yeah, once you have gear, it's not as useful, except if you're gonna sell stuff, right? But I feel like, could you make more money selling potions and elixirs than you could selling leatherworking stuff? Probably.
You need something? Farewell.
You could probably make more money selling potions and elixirs, like, long term than you could selling leatherworking stuff. Yeah, I should stick with alchemy. Okay. In that case, I have to start saving my herbs. Like, we're doing okay right now. I have to start shoving these in the bank. If we're gonna take alchemy, we gotta start saving them.
Need help?
I've only sold a little bit, but I have sold. Alright, you guys have convinced me. We'll stick with alchemy. Like, long term, it's probably gonna be better. Look at that, we leveled up by discovering. Let's pop this into the second point and improve Sinister Strike. That's going to reduce the cost by 5. After that, we're going to go 3 points Lightning Reflexes. The add-on that's changing the quest text is called Dialogue UI. It's really nice. It has a light mode and a dark mode. And I would definitely recommend it. Let's cross over the river and find the first guard's body. That way we can fight our way to the second guard's body. We've got some wood over here. You found the rarest thing in the starting zones? A chest? We have not seen many chests. That's true. I guess with this many people playing at the same time, it's unlikely to come across one that's actually active and has stuff in it. We need them to start hyper-spawning chests. Preferably with greens and blues in them, if they would be so kind. That's why you thought I played female characters for the chests? I mean, you're not wrong. But different kind of chest. Combat Rogue is basically a pirate class. Don't say that word here. Don't you dare be in this chat and say the P word. In Classic Era, the Combat Rogue is not a pirate. Any kind of pirate, even a special kind of pirate. In Classic Era, the Combat Rogue is a dual-wielding badass. Like a Witcher or something. Do not say the P word here. I'm not a big fan of pirates.
Although the classic era pirates are okay. Unfortunately, Johnny Depp basically ruined pirates for all of eternity. So yeah, we don't talk about pirates anymore. You know, I had to play Plunderstorm. That was bad enough. Like, pirates used to be cool. I remember having, like, the Lego pirate sets when I was a kid. Like, those were really cool. Like, the original Lego pirates. And then Pirates of the Caribbean happened. And then every pirate thing just looked exactly like that. So, yeah. I don't like pirate stuff anymore. Thankfully, a lot of the pirate stuff in WoW feels like it kind of squeaked in right before that era. And so, like, a lot of the pirate stuff in WoW is actually okay. But the Outlaw Rogue came into existence long after the Pirates of the Caribbean movies were out. And that's why the Outlaw Rogue is garbage. In my opinion. I do not like the class fantasy of that. Is Classic Fresh something now? Or something? I mean, you're right to say that it is something. Yeah. But I would say that most things are something. So by that definition, it's really hard to know for sure. It is something, yes. Everything is something until it's nothing. There you go. Now we got some existentialism going on in chat. Everything is something until it's nothing. And every something is going to be nothing one day. So realistically, everything is nothing. And nothing is everything. It was something enough to get Dragon's Bane to resub. So it must be something right now. Even if one day it will be nothing. You're thinking Combat Rogue is more like a ninja. Yeah. Like, ninjas are still cool. Yeah, Combat Rogue is more like a ninja. That's a much better and aesthetically pleasing comparison. It'd be nice if we could find, like, 2 katana-looking swords. That'd be really cool. Physics jokes now? What's the matter? Everything. Except energy, of course. We've moved from existentialism onto physics jokes. I like it. Yeah, there are definitely katana-looking swords. Whether or not we'll happen across any of them, and whether or not they'll be useful for us, I don't know. But they do exist. It would be cool to be able to take a talent that makes it so that when you throw a weapon or shoot a bow, it gives you a combo point. That would be cool. Maybe only for throwing daggers. Yeah, it'd be cool if you could like take a talent that when you throw a dagger, you can build a combo point. But then maybe reduce the range of throwing so that you can only get one off before the mob gets to you. Because right now I think you can throw at least twice. And maybe like 2 combo points would be really overpowered. You've kind of always felt that outlaw rogues are more of a highwayman than the P word. Yeah. I mean, that's like, a highwayman is basically a pirate on a road. True story. So, it could go that way. You could, if it helps you sleep at night, then you can envision it more like that. More like a highwayman. Like the highwayman in Darkest Dungeon. If that helps you sleep at night, then that's okay. I'll allow it. Oh, it's a landlocked buccaneer. Yeah, the landlocked buccaneers. A corsair, one might say. Possibly. I also don't like the implication that I'm an out. I don't like the implication of being a criminal. I don't think that, like, a rogue has to be a criminal. I like to imagine the rogue more as a spy. More as, like, a ninja. And less as, like, a bandit. And I feel like for me, like, the outlaw rogue, like, leans into that fantasy a little bit too much. Like, my character is supposed to be an adventurer. My character could become a hero. I don't really want the class fantasy to be that I'm a criminal. You know? In the official description, they call it a swashbuckler. Yeah, see, I don't like that. A swashbuckler just... I mean, I get it, but nowadays it just sounds like I'm a pirate in a Disney movie. If I'm out there swashbuckling. Like, who swashbuckles anymore? Not a criminal. A hero with loose morals. See, I would rather imagine the opposite. I would rather imagine I have a very strict code of conduct for my roguelike ways. Yeah, I like the special agent fantasy for the rogue more than anything else. Which is probably why I prefer, like, an alliance rogue. Especially a human rogue over, like, a horde side rogue. Like, that concept actually gets me into the class fantasy. A lot more than thinking of myself as a criminal or a highwayman or a pirate or a thief. I guess I like... Those are fantasies too, and, like, some people like those fantasies. That's fine. They just don't do anything for me. So I focus on, like, spy, special agent.
John Wick, but with swords. Maybe something like that, yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about the John Wick movies. We recently watched the first one and the second one. And I know they're supposed to be like the best movies that exist now for like action movies. And to be fair, like the action aspect of John Wick probably is the best action that I've ever seen. I just don't really know about the character or the premise or some of the acting or the point of any of it. I just feel, I guess like the action is supposed to be in the forefront, and I'm not supposed to really care or think too much about like the world building or the story or the characters. Maybe I'm just supposed to like take it at face value for fun. But I guess since I heard so much about how they were like the best movies ever made, that I went into them expecting a little bit, not more, but kind of more. They killed his dog. It's all you need to know. Yeah, no, exactly. They killed his dog. That's all you need to know. I got that. I get it. Like, I guess that is all you need to know. And somehow that's gonna propel him like from one thing to the next for 4 movies. Yeah. I'm gonna watch the 3rd one soon. Like, I'm definitely gonna finish them all. But yeah. Some things were questionable. He really loved the dog. I mean, the dog was a puppy, you know, like there's reasons for the dog, like his dead wife sent him the dog after she had passed away. The dog was only a puppy. Like, yeah, I mean, the first movie, all those dudes deserve what they got. All those dudes deserve what they got. The second movie, like, a lot of those people just got killed for no good reason. Who knows what the 3rd movie will be like. Is the classic launch today? It was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday evening was the launch of the Fresh Start servers. Which means it's WoW, so that means you already missed out and everybody's level 60 except for you. That's what it means. Speaking of, do we have any level 35s on? No level 35s. Do we have any level 34s? No level 34s. Oh wait, 1 level 34. We got a level 34 mage. Do we have any level 36s? No level 36s. We have a level 34 though. Which is incredibly impressive. Especially since it has not even been 24 hours yet. I don't think I've ever sat down and watched Big Trouble in Little China from like front to back. And it's probably one of like the only like 80s action movies that I can say that about. Maybe I should give that a watch. Cause yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of it, but it's like one of the only movies from that period that I like haven't actually watched. Like front to back. My slash played? Not that much. That was slash who. Let's try slash played. My slash played is 7 hours and 14 minutes. At level 34, he hasn't slept since launch. Yeah, he might have slept for like a couple of hours, you know. But yeah, if you're level 34 right now, or even like anywhere in the level 30s, then it's safe to say that you did not get a full night's sleep. It's safe to say you didn't get a full night's sleep, yeah. You may or may not be poop socking it, like, I don't know, to each their own. Like, if that's how you roll, go ahead. But you definitely haven't slept much. And you're probably either ordering like Uber Eats, or you're having your mom bring you down some of those Tostinos, like quick cook pizzas. Mom, I need another Tostinos! And bring me some Faygo! Not the moon mist! And they probably sound like that. Hot Pockets, maybe. Yeah, Hot Pockets, Tostino's pizzas. Leave the party pizzas out of this. Oh yeah, well, obviously it's someone who's like 35. Yeah. Because like young people don't care that much about this game to devote that much of their lives to it. So this person is not like a teenager, and they're probably not even in their 20s. At their youngest, this person who's level 30 something, this person is obviously an experienced veteran. They know exactly what to do, and they know exactly what it takes to level as quickly as possible. This is someone at least in their 30s. They're either unemployed or they're underemployed. And they're probably living at home, which is fine. If they're living at home, that's absolutely fine. More and more young people are staying at home and living at home because shit is so unaffordable. Like, it's really hard to afford to live. So they're definitely staying at home. But they're probably not, like, doing a bunch of other stuff. It was an interesting verb to learn. I didn't make that one up, so you can't hold me responsible for that. That's a term that sweaty players made up out of a practicality to describe what they have to do to be so sweaty. Your mom would have slapped the F out of you if you'd have talked to her like that? Yeah, like, right. My mom wouldn't have, but my dad would have beat my ass with the belt. Later on, after I'd already forgotten how I talked to my mom, he'd do it, you know? Like, I would have moved on past that point, and later I'd just get beat with a belt. Like, I guess I won't use that tone again. Now you appreciate it more when I say I have to go bio instead of going into more details, right? Now you guys understand. Oh man, what am I still looking for? I need prowlers, I need forest bears. The mobs are heavily farmed. Heavily farmed in this area. Maybe we should head... Where else can we go? We can go south of the road. Maybe I should go look south of the road. I feel like basically all I've been doing is skinning other people's kills. Yeah, my bags are... My bags are getting a little full. Maybe we come down here and talk to this vendor and turn in the quest, and we can alleviate our little inventory issue. We can also use this guy's house to cook some of our meat. We have lots of meat.
Safe travels.
Time for princess? Maybe. Maybe. We might be able to do it. Leo, you got 7 layers on the US realms? It sounds like a lot, but at least they didn't have to open new servers. I checked, I keep like expecting them to, but I think we're good. I think we're past the point where like if they needed to open up new servers, they already would have. So I'm happy that their big servers were actually big enough so that we could all fit on these servers. They didn't have to open anymore. Even if it means they gotta like have a lot of layers, you know. I feel like layers are better than servers that are gonna end up being dead eventually. Nobody wants to end up on a dead server, waiting for Blizz to open up free transfers.
I buy and trade. For the Alliance.
They learned mega servers. Yeah, they finally spent their talent points in mega servers. It's only been available in their talent row for the past 10 years. They finally spent their points in it. Purchased the upgrade.
Greetings. Be careful. Light.
They're like, we're working on this new technology. And everyone's like, new? We can finally have many servers and have many players in one place at one time. It's this new technology called a mega server. Like, hasn't ESO been on a mega server since the day it launched in 2015, 2013? I'm pretty sure ESO launched in 2013. And I'm pretty sure, like, right out of the gates, they were just on, like, 1 server per region. So, yeah. They're a little bit behind. What's the quest add-on for the text, for the quest text? That is Dialogue UI. It's probably it's one of the best add-ons that we're using. We used to use Immersion, and Immersion was pretty good. I liked Immersion. But I do think Dialogue UI is better. Yeah, ESO's 10 years old and started with a mega server. Shameful. Shameful. At least they finally figured it out. I'm gonna go south of the road here and see if we have any better luck with spawns. What time is it right now in the EU? 8:41. Okay, that's why it's like pretty packed right now. I guess this is like basically prime time Friday night, 9 o'clock. That's why we're not finding any living creatures. ESO has like some of the best stories, the best writing, and the best world building that I have seen. It's definitely the best for like an MMO. The problem with it is that the gameplay in ESO is incredibly boring. Like every modern MMO, the combat's too easy while you level up. Everything feels kind of meaningless besides the story, the characters, like everything that you're doing feels kind of empty and meaningless while you level up. The combat's too easy. Yeah, you never feel like you're in any danger of anything. There's not a lot of repercussions or like consequences for failure. It's such a waste because the rest of ESO is like this amazing RPG with like incredible characters and story and lore. It's like so good, but then the gameplay is like really freaking boring. If only they would figure out how to just like nail combat. Combat needs to be more challenging. I need to think more about the abilities I have to do. The enemies actually have to have a chance to murder me if I make too many mistakes or if I'm not paying attention. Yeah. Stop throwing so much stuff at me all at once. Like, let the loot that I do collect be meaningful in some way. Stop throwing stuff at me. Yeah, there's quite a few things they could... And I'm sure, like... And I played it when it first launched, but I don't remember really. I'm sure in its vanilla state, it was better. I'm sure when it launched in 2013, I played a Templar, and I got a Templar to like level 20. I'm sure back then the combat was harder. I'm sure back then mobs were a little bit more dangerous. Like, I'm sure things felt different in the vanilla state. And like, for me, like, that's the story behind like most of the modern MMOs. Is like, for me, they were better in their vanilla states. Final Fantasy XIV, or Realm Reborn, used to actually be an MMORPG, and not just a walking simulator where you listen to NPCs tell you a 300-hour story. It used to actually be like an MMORPG where you had to do like side quests and guild levies and run dungeons more than once. You had to level up certain classes to unlock other classes. Like, it had a lot of RPG elements, and then like in every modern MMO they eventually strip away all of the challenge and all of the things that made it felt like an open world RPG. And everything gets streamlined to the point of being like inane and thoughtless and boring. That's why I'm only playing classic MMOs from now on. Like, I have no interest in playing modern MMORPGs. Because they're just not good from like an RPG standpoint. It was a different game when it first came out in the beta and at launch, yeah. And like I said, I don't remember my time with it that much. But yeah, I like all, and Guild Wars 2 is probably much the same. I played a little bit of Guild Wars 2 when it first launched, and I'm sure it was a completely different game, like leveling up and having that experience than it was today. It's crazy that the way these games change over time makes them feel worse to play. How does that end up being like the predominant design philosophy for MMORPGs? How is it that like fundamentally over time the development of these games has made them feel worse to play a character? It's kind of crazy when you just think about it like that. It just feels worse to turn on the game, make a character, and start playing it than it did like day one when it first came out. Yeah, ESO didn't have scaling. You could accidentally wander into dangerous enemies. Exactly. Yeah, level scaling is a huge issue. If something is level scaling, you might as well not even call it an RPG. It's just an action game at that point. If you don't have the ability to out-level a challenge, and if you don't have the ability to engage in a higher challenge by tackling something of a higher level, then it's not even an RPG anymore. Like, please stop calling it an RPG. Please take the RPG completely out of the title. Because like a core component of an RPG is that your level matters, and the level of the enemies you're fighting matters. And when everything scales to your level, there might as well not be any levels. Because it makes levels basically meaningless. I hope one day these types of games somehow get a reset and they start adopting like better gameplay philosophies that focus on like how the moment-to-moment gameplay feels like the whole time you're playing the game. Not just when you're at max level and you're like engaging with the cash shop, but like while you're right from when you make a character and you take your first steps into the world, the game should have like a consistent tone. And it should at all times be something that's engaging and be something that feels like you're having an actual like gameplay experience and not just like shoveling the equivalent of snow. You're just shoveling snow. Like intellectual snow. Oh my god. One day, guys, we will finish this quest. I promise. Maybe staying in the same area, like if I just stand still. Maybe that's the way. If I stand here long enough to skin all of these bears, maybe the bear will respawn. I would like to see all of the current, like, modern day MMOs release a classic version of themselves. I would like to see ESO Classic. I would like to see a Realm Reborn Classic. I would like to see Guild Wars 2 Classic. I would love for them to take initiative and to release those, re-release those games in like their finished version 1 state. And those are games that I would love to go back and play. I'm actually surprised that with the success of WoW Classic that someone else hasn't tried it yet. That we haven't gotten like a Final Fantasy XI Classic or anything like that. Because all of these games are pretty old now. All of these games are old enough and have changed enough to warrant having a classic version of them. That would be really cool to see. The player base has to be mad enough about the current version. It's a bad impetus for a company to do something, but I see what you mean. Yeah. Like, they have to be, like, unhappy about the direction the game is going or something like that. But, like, if the player base is generally happy with the direction of the game, why bother type of deal? That's a good point. Yeah, because I think by, like, after Legion and by BFA, like, I think a lot of people started to be upset with the direction of WoW. Like, a lot of longtime WoW fans started to kind of not like the direction the game had been going in for a long time. It was obvious that direction was going to remain the same. And then we got Classic. So yeah, if the existing player base is still happy with it, then I guess you wouldn't see that happen. But I feel like an existing player base that's happy with the current game, like, I feel like those people would still be pretty excited to experience the Classic version. Especially in older games where, like, a lot of the player base, they're not all going to be people that were there from day one. Like, a lot of the people that play ESO now, or Final Fantasy XIV, or Guild Wars 2, a lot of those people came into the game later on. Because the games are old enough now that's, like, mostly the case. So, yeah, so I still feel like even if, like, people love the current game, that there'd still be you'd still have your player base interested to check it out, you know? But maybe not worth the work, I guess. Maybe in 5 or 6 more years, the player bases of those games will start to feel more like the player base of WoW felt prior to Classic existing. Maybe there will be like a shift, but maybe it's still a few years out. Yeah, WoW Classic came out when people weren't really happy with, like, the direction, but WoW was not at its lowest point. Thankfully, when WoW hit its lowest point during Shadowlands, Classic was already out. So thank God, like, when Blizzard was at their worst, and when WoW was arguably at its worst, Classic thankfully was already out, and was already a thing people could retreat to. Like, if not for that, Like, if Classic had not existed when Shadowlands happened, then Blizz might be very different today. Like, and the game might be very different today. So we just need one more wolf. Maybe I ought to pick a pile. It might be pick your pile time. Oh, wait. Oh, no, that's another bear. Now that I don't need bears, like, all that it's spawning are bears. They're in too deep to change retail significantly. Yeah, retail is on the path that it's on. They don't need to change retail, and there's no reason for them to do anything except lean into the same philosophies they're already following. Like, they have Classic now, for different design philosophies, and they're about to have like smaller projects that are like within the IP, but not necessarily within World of Warcraft. So yeah, like, retail WoW is gonna just be what it is. It's going to lean more and more into the same types of things that we see in other online games. And, you know, you're probably going to see more $90 mounts. But that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Because those of us who don't like that, but still like WoW, can play Classic. Well, as with everything, and especially with art and artistic decision making, like, the art that you see and the things that you see expressed in the game are going to be a product of the people who make the game. So, you know, like, there aren't any of the old guard left at Blizzard making WoW. Those people don't exist anymore. The current generation of people who make WoW, those people were raised on Disney and Pixar. And so, like, and I'm not even saying that those things are bad. But when that's your, like, major artistic influences and your story influences and kind of like the things you came up with while you were, like, forging your creative identity, then the stuff that you create yourself is going to be reflective of that. Whereas, like, the people who made WoW originally were fans of things like Warhammer 40k and He-Man and Thundercats and, you know, stuff that came from their time period. And so their artwork and their stories and their lore was reflective of the things that had influenced them, just like the modern developers are reflecting the things that influenced them in their childhood. So, like, it shouldn't be very surprising. Like,
be careful.
The people making WoW are between the ages of 23 and like 35 generally. You know, there are obviously always going to be people that are older than that. A lot of those people are going to be in leadership positions.
Go with honor,
But like
friend.
the average developer, artist, designer is going to be between the ages of like 23 and 34 or 35. Which is a different generation of people than the people who created WoW. One might argue that WoW jumped the shark when we had to be exposed to the jailer's nipples for an entire expansion. I would say, if there was ever a time when WoW jumped the shark, it was probably the jailer and his nipples. Yeah. If Princess respawns, we will try to grab her. Here she is. For whatever reason, her ads did not aggro, which I thought they would. And yeah, you know, we're looking around here and I'm seeing the same type of thing. Everything here is farmed out. This is very, very busy for like out in the middle of Elwyn Forest. We might have to like camp a body, find a pile to stand on and wait for respawns. Running around doesn't seem to be working for us very much. We keep missing the respawns like as we run around. Back here by the cart might be a good place. There's like two, yeah, there's a few of them that spawn back in this area. So oh, I almost got that tag. We were so close to getting that tag. Yeah, let's hang out back here. This is a decent area. You tried retail a couple weeks ago again? You made it for 2 hours? You'll try 2 hours again next year? Like every year you try it for 2 hours and turn it off? That's pretty fair. I think that, like, you know, giving it a chance is fair. You turn it on for a couple hours, you play a little bit, and then you're like, oh yeah, now I remember. And then you turn it off. Yeah, I used to log in, I'd install it, I'd log in, I'd open my map, I'd look at the map kind of quizzically, and then I would close the map, and then I'd log out. Like, that's what I used to do. Looking at the map was usually enough to, like, make me log out of the game. I was like, yeah, there's nothing here I want to do. I'm gonna log out. It's Friday at 9, can't get much more prime time than that. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm picking that up. There's a lot of people online. So yeah, I'm definitely experiencing now what it feels like to play during prime time. Which, you know, after playing my entire career on NA realms, and, you know, playing Classic at least, I play during the day. So I never really have played during server time prime time. Because it's never prime time in the US when I'm playing. So this is very different. People used to sometimes, they'd have like these horror stories about how, oh, I spent 3 hours here, I couldn't tag a single mob, it was awful. Every time I went to tag a mob, somebody else got it. And I would just kind of listen to the stories like, okay, okay. And I'm like, well, that's never happened to me. Now I know why. Because everybody telling a story like that was playing during prime time. And I had never played during prime time. And now I see like what I was missing. And yeah, and it's fresh. Right, exactly. Right, what level are we now? We are level 11. I have not made a lot of progress today, to be fair. We have played for a while. Apparently we played for 3.5 hours. But we have not made a lot of progress. It's been fun though. I've been enjoying myself. Just not a lot of levels gained. This is my pile. I would appreciate it if you would gladly leave my pile. Thank you, thank you. Yes, this pile belongs to me. Please see yourself out. Out. Damn you! Mob stealer. Ninja. That's right, get out of here. It's getting very competitive up in here. Yeah, I can safely say that I've never seen the Brackwell pumpkin patch quite like this. The only area that I typically see that's ever quite like this is the first Defias kill quest right outside of Westfall. Like right by Sentinel Hill, where the 2 tents are at. Like that area typically gets to a point where you can't tag anything. But that's like the only area that I've ever seen quite like this. And this might be the first time I've ever had to pile camp outside of the initial starting areas. So we're having lots of new experiences here in the EU. The good news is the drop rate's been relatively kind to us. We have 4 out of 6. The lowest population time is between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. I believe that. Yeah, because that's when, like, the no-lifers who stay up all night, you know, the people who either got a reverse schedule or they just don't do anything, so they stay up all night till the sun comes up and then they go to sleep. The 6 o'clock is, like, right when those people absolutely have to go to sleep. So, like, you're losing the night crew and the people who are just degenerate. And then, you know, most people are either sleeping or doing something between those 2 hours. So that makes sense. Oh yeah, so was I. during Wrath of the Lich King, yeah, so was I. Yeah, I lived with a roommate, I was employed minimally. I worked the night shift, so like even when I did work, I worked until like midnight or 1. And so yeah, back in Wrath of the Lich King, I was the same way. Rome, good afternoon. Done. Nice. Okay, let's go turn this one in. And then we have to run all the way back to Goldshire. Because I left my Hearthstone set back in Thunderbrew Distillery. When Swoda was new, used to wake up at 5 a.m. and log in before work. I did that for a while too. Yeah, I had times when I had a job where I had to work early. I remember a time in my life waking up at like 5, leveling up a little bit in WoW, and then going to work. Yeah, I had that time too. That was like the desperate time of trying to figure out like when I was going to get my playtime in. It's like, okay, I can wake up super early, because like the reality was, you know, I probably wasn't getting enough sleep anyway. Are the US servers permanently dead, or do I just prefer the EU servers now? Yeah, yeah, basically. Here, 1 second. Boop, boop. I have a video that explains it. It's a really short one, and instead of like, I've kind of like absolved myself to, instead of repeating myself and like giving the full explanation, that I'll just link the video. Boop. Yeah, I have reasons. That's the TLDR. But if you want the non-TLDR, those are all my reasons for why I'm playing on the EU realms now.
Well met. Go with honor, friend.
Alright, back to town we go. What kind of weapons do I have, and how did I get them? We have 2 green swords, and we bought them on the auction house for relatively cheap. I think they were like 8 silver each. And it did happen. We did cap out on herbalism. So we'll make sure to get the Stormwind, or if we don't want to go to Stormwind, we'll just run up here into the hills and we'll make sure to get this train before we do anything else. I had a feeling we would cap before we got back to town. And we did. How am I finding the rogue? I'm having a ton of fun, yeah. And I knew I would, because we had a rogue we gotten to like level 15 back on White Mane that I really liked, so it has been good. Yeah, Mr. Santa, today there was a lot of stuff on the auction house, and a lot of it was relatively cheap. Some stuff was too pricey, but like most things were reasonably priced. And we put some stuff up for sale as well. I don't think we've sold it yet. At least I haven't seen any mail come through. But I'm kind of hoping that stuff sells. What spec are we running? We're going to do a combat spec to start. I want to do combat swords, because that's kind of like, that's the rogue fantasy that I like. So we'll do combat swords for a while, and you know, we'll probably try different stuff. It's going to be a long playthrough, so we'll have time to experiment with different builds. Dual spec is not in the game. They're going to launch dual spec. I think they're doing it with the first patch, from what I understand. So like whenever they drop, December 12, I think, whenever they drop the first raids, should be in then, I think. Don't quote me on that, but it's not in yet. They said soon, and I heard that it was like the first patch, which I'm assuming means like the first drop of the raid bosses. But we'll see. I was hoping it would be like they would add them in week 2, but it seems like they're not adding them till a bit later.
Greetings. Light bless you. For the Alliance, light bless you.
Ashbad, thank you for the membership, man. I really appreciate that. And thanks for being here today. Soon, coming in 2025. Exactly. That's basically all it means. It's going to be here sometime this year. Yeah.
For the Alliance.
Sometime in 2025. Right. I hope it's not. I hope it squeaks in 2024. But it could be 2025. You know, it could work out that way. If we're lucky, they'll squeak it in.
Careful.
Let's grab the rogue quest, and I think we're all trained up, but I'll make sure.
Hey there. See you around. around.
There we go.
Well met.
And yeah, we are all trained up for now.
Be careful.
All right, guys, I have had a great time today. I actually have to go. I need to take my kid to his swim class, which happens pretty soon. So I am going to go do that. Then I'm going to have dinner. Then I'm going to clean up dinner. And I'm going to come back and stream a little bit this evening. I think I'll probably come back on around like 7 o'clock my time, which for some of you will be pretty late. But yeah, I want to play a bit more today. So I'm going to come back on later today. And we're also going to have a stream at some point during the day tomorrow. So yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your afternoon or evening time. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you back here again very soon. Bye for now.